Hi everyone, my name is Maribel. I'm a counselor here at Merced Adult School, and I got a short video today. I hope so. Trying to aim for less than 20 minutes. Maybe it'll be 10, 15. So this week I have a video on how to prepare before signing a contract. Okay, you guys. I think this was inspired by me because I had I signed a contract and I wanted to get out of it, and I realized that there was some huge penalties, and if I would have known this, I probably wouldn't have signed and committed to this long contract. So I want to make sure that I can help someone out, and sometimes people take advantage of you and you just sign, you're not sure what you're signing. So I want to help you prepare for, before you sign anything, how to feel comfortable signing something if this is answered and you've already done all this. Okay, so I'm going to help you with that. So just contracts are written agreements that is intended to be enforceable by law. So this could be employment. You have to sign a contract. This could be for buying a house. You could be buying an AC unit with a heater. Maybe you're signing up for college, and there's a contract there too that you're signing. Maybe it's for the gym. Again, it's an exchange of maybe of services. But have you ever been in a situation where you were like, this is no longer serving me, and you want to cancel, but later you find out that canceling has penalties and it's going to cost you a hefty amount of money? That was me, you guys. Sometimes we sign contracts without knowing the terms and conditions and just go to get something started right away. Like I did that with my alarm system, to be specific, and I just signed it because I wanted to feel safe. And I know people use the psychology on you. I'm telling you, people use psychology and then you're already taking so much time, so you feel like obligated then to sign, right? They know how to work it. These business people know what to do to get you to sign, and obviously they get commission. So yeah, so why is this important? So it's important to understand contracts and what things to know before signing anything. To avoid any penalties from wanting to cancel, and make the best choices with the right business partner. We don't want to go in blindly or get blindsided by the other party with having to have financial obligations or other consequences for breaking the contract. There are some businesses out there that you're allowed to, like, let's say for example, the gym, right? You can cancel at any time if something were to happen. If you are moving and you no longer can be there, they ask for proof of something, proof that you're moving in your new house with your new name, right? If maybe you had something happen with a doctor, so you need to take some time, that you can pause your account or you can cancel it, right? But that's under the contract. There's some, and I'll explain, there's some clauses, and it's part of it, understanding some clauses. Okay, so things you want to know before getting into business or anything with someone. And this is also signing a contract for a new record, whatever, if you're an artist or something, right? You want to do your research of the person or the company. Type in their name and see what comes up. Are they established? Is there an online presence for these people? Like, let's say we're trying to figure out an alarm system and you look, oh, there's Vivint, there's ADT, but then I did not research the Ring, which, by the way, is a lot cheaper. A lot cheaper. A lot cheaper. You think you're paying for the alarm system that is only $30 or $50 a month, but they don't tell you that you're also paying for the equipment, which is another $2,000, $3,000. So they end up paying $80 instead of just being $50. And then you're like, and you go see the Ring, and the Ring's like, you buy the initial, probably the cameras are $100 or something each, and you need 2 cameras or 3, you're $300. So maybe you spend $300 on it, but the equipment for any other is like $2,000, and you're like, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a lot for the equipment. I'd rather pay $300-400 initial, and then for the ring, just you pay like $100 for the whole year, when I'm paying $80 right now for, I'm not gonna tell you which it is, but yeah. And I'm like, ugh. But I signed it because I was wanting to invest on my safety, right? Anyways, so do your research. See if there's an online presence. Are they certified? What are the ratings? What are people saying about this business or company or person? And something I want to say, when I'm buying a house was a big thing. I didn't have the best experience buying a house with a person. I didn't care for the person. I didn't feel comfortable with this person, and I later found out that it wasn't someone you can trust. So if the person seems sketchy, if you don't feel like you can trust them, there's like your gut saying like something's up, listen to your gut. Sometimes they make you feel guilty and you like to sign. And I remember this person kind of forced me to sign something, and later found out I didn't have to. But they want to make sure they're getting they're getting paid, and so they want you to sign this. So be careful. Listen to your gut. Take your time. Do your research. Get more than one quote, and don't go with just the first one. Sometimes it might look too good to be true, or it's good, but then there's something better out there. So I always say get at least 3 quotes before investing on buying something or a service, before you sign anything away, right? Like if you're buying a new AC unit, I know those are not cheap. It's about $8,000 to $10,000. I know I would probably, what you're signing up for, is for a lease, because who has, some people have $10,000, but I don't. So get more than one quote. And I always say, go into your Facebook. If you have Facebook, I don't know if that's something new, you all can ask suggestions. I swear I get a lot of good suggestions, and people, because they've already done it, I get suggestions there. You can Google it. They give you the top ones because you can see the ratings, the star ratings. Look at the star ratings, and the one that has the most, always go with the one that has the most, with the highest ratings, because there's people that are talking about it. When there's higher ratings, people have had good experience with them. Always ask for a copy and save it. Don't sign it. You're not in a hurry. And they should be understanding of this. You have the right to review contract to make sure things are in order. So don't be afraid. Like sometimes you have to sit on something before making a big decision. You don't realize what kind of commitment you're getting yourself into. So make sure that tells me the next step. Make sure you read everything from start to finish. They say at least read the table of contents, but if you need to, like if it's a big contract, let's say it's for a realtor or something, and this is all just jargon you don't understand, get a legal professional to help you really understand the contract, because that's a thick one. When you buy a house, it's like a thick contract that you're signing. What exactly are you signing? I think this is really important as you're talking to your realtor, or even your finance person, because they should be able to explain to you. And if you didn't have a good realtor or a finance person, and they can't really explain things to you, that is not a good sign. And if you don't feel comfortable, so I think it's really important that you have the trust with the person that you're doing business with. If you don't have that, then you shouldn't be doing business with them at all. Remember that. So you have language can get confusing when it comes to contracts. Legal stuff, I get lost. I can never be a lawyer. That's the truth. You need to understand your obligations. Usually, you give this, you're giving them money, and they give you this in return. So you're investing this much money a month, or this much money initially, and then they have to deliver and do their service, whatever, on monthly, every couple months. I remember I have that with my, pest control. They come every other month. Get the details. When does this start? When do you initially have to start paying? How often? I know I have a bill every 2 months for certain people. Sometimes, usually it's every month. How much, of course, and what, understand in those specifics, what are you paying for exactly every month? That's something to really look to when you're looking at your obligations, because you think you're only paying for something, but you're paying for the service and you're paying for equipment. Like, look at how that looks like, and who do you, and who are you paying for? Because sometimes you're paying, like AT&T is the same thing. You pay for this part with this company and you're paying this part with this other company, and they're joining, and it's just, it can get confusing to understand who you're paying to. Sometimes you end up paying to a lease person, like whoever you're leasing for to pay the equipment for, and then the service. Who is it? Understand that, again, the when, how often, how much, with, and stuff like that. You got to answer those things. If you don't have those answers, like the who, the what, the when, how much, for how long, yeah, because in a contracts are usually at least a year, especially if you're doing like if you're renting a house. Usually there's the least one is 6 months. There's a year one for, there's year one's lease, and then you're looking at monthly for anything regarding service. Sometimes they want you to sign for a year contract. Same thing with the gyms, usually a year. But now there's some places that feel comfortable that just do month to month. But understand all that. How does that look like? The longer the contract, the more you really have to look into it, because that's a huge commitment. I know for mine was a 5-year commitment for my services, my alarm system, which I regret, and that's something I will have to pay hefty, and it's gonna happen. But I just need to prepare for how much money I'm gonna be spending just to get out of the contract. I'd still be saving no matter what, but I'm just, I learned my lesson. Make sure I go over exactly, like, how long is this contract? Can I get out of it if I need to? And if I can, I'll talk about the next part, and regarding the clauses and understanding what some clauses could include. And if they don't have clauses, you can actually add them. Okay, so that's important. Know the details, everything out. So what happens if the contract is breached? If you fail to deliver, you can sue people. If you fail to include something, you can just get it. You don't have to sue them for certain things, but you can actually, like, they won't argue and they will have to abide, because it's a contract, it's legal. Like, it has to be enforced, or else you have to pay your end of you have to pay and you get your money back. So just understand, if they're not able to do their part or you don't do your part, how does that look like? And that we'll talk about, like, if you're wanting to understand, if you cancel, what are the penalties? What are your obligations? And what do you need to fulfill at the end? Sometimes they give you a way out and sometimes they don't. And so that's where this understanding clauses is important, because you can include clauses in case of an emergency, in case, like, you move, like, what can you do to get out of a contract? What are your ways out if you need to? Not that you plan to, because obviously they want you to keep you for the whole term if they decided, the terms and conditions, right? If an emergency occurs, can you get out of the contract, and how does that look like? Like we say, when it comes to like at school, let's say something were to happen and you had to drop out of classes. Well, the school has this thing, you have to fill this form, and then you won't be obligated to pay for your tuition, or you get your refund. So understand, those are some clauses. It's important to have, just in case something were to happen and you have to break the contract, even though you don't want to. But, like, life happens, emergency happens, people die, people get injured, people move, and, like, how does that look like? And so the clauses are meant for that. You make sure there is something, and there is not, then you really have to think twice if you want to do business with them. And one last thing, big thing, is never leave blank spaces on the contract, because they can be filled by the other person. Don't be signing anything with a pencil. I know that's an obvious one, but sign with a pen, usually a blue or a black pen, because they can, if it's a pencil, they can do their own thing. So I hope that helps. I think the big thing for me is that understand really what it looks like, you know, what the commitment you're getting yourself into. Is it a year? Is it 2-3 years? Is it 5 years? You know, who are you paying for? Like understanding how does that look like on month-to-month basis. And also if you want to get out of it, like understand like how can you if you needed to. And then will they allow it? And if they don't, again, like you really have to think twice if you're going to make a huge commitment with a business, a person. Think twice before signing that contract. And I know I learned my lesson. Excuse me, I learned my lesson. I'll learn not to sign anything until I really understand the terms and the conditions. Yes, because I think a lot of places, like, you know, when you buy something, it says there's a 30-day or 60-day guaranteed. I like that because they are really, that means that they really believe in what they're selling. That if you don't, we guarantee your money back. But they know it might not work for everyone and it might not be something for everyone. So they have that. I love when they have that. I always give me the 60-day guarantee and give me my money back if it doesn't work. Perfect. Then that makes me feel comfortable doing business with them. And they should do that with the contract. That's what the clauses are. That's why it's important to understand if you cancel, what's that going to look like? And you got to be ready for that and be prepared for that. Because right now I wasn't prepared to pay over $1,000 just to cancel a service. And I don't want that to happen to you. So listen to your gut. Understand that you are in charge. You're the boss. Not them. You're the boss. Because they want your business. They want your money. Okay. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys this week. Hopefully this kind of inspires someone and maybe like help someone prepare for contracts before they sign something and they commit to some big thing, legal thing. If you have any questions or any suggestions for any future videos, let me know. Hit the like button if you haven't liked it, or if you haven't subscribed to me, you're more than welcome to subscribe. I am almost at 40. Thank you, you guys. Have a good day. Bye. Or is it 50?